Hello students, my name is Otin Joseph, facilitator for grade 7 mathematics. Welcome to the OK Academy e-learning program, and today we are going to have a lesson in maths on linear equations. What is an equation basically? An equation is an expression with an equal sign. So I can put down an expression like this, 2x plus 5. This is an expression or algebraic expression. When I introduce the equal sign into the expression, let's say 2x plus 5 is equal to 3, then we call this as an equation. Okay? What do we mean by linear equation? Equations are grouped or named according to the power of x, the highest power of x in the equation. For this equation, the highest power of x is 1. I can give you another equation like 2x squared minus 7x plus 5 equals 0. You can see that in this equation, the power of x, the highest power of x is 2, whilst this one is 1. I can also give you an equation 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Here, the highest power of x is 3. We name equations according to the power of x. An equation with the highest power of x being 1 is called a linear equation. Okay, so this equation is not linear because the highest power of x is 2, or the degree of x is 2. Here the degree of x is 3, which is the highest power of x. So none of these equations are linear, only the first one, because the degree of x is 1. So I have given you an example of a linear equation. The next thing we are going to do is how to solve linear equations. That is our basic aim in this lesson, how to solve linear equations. Number 1, deal with fractions first. How do you deal with fractions first? If there is any mixed fraction in the equation, you have to convert that fraction into improper fraction. So when you get the equation, go through to see if there is any mixed fraction in the equation. Then you have to change that mixed fraction to improper fraction. Okay? The next thing to do when dealing with fractions is you have to simplify your fractions so that they get common denominators. How do you simplify your fractions? You will check for the least common multiple for all the denominators of the fractions. Check for the least common multiples for all the denominators of the fractions in the equation and multiply through by that least common multiple. Okay? Multiply every term in the equation on both sides of the equal sign with that least common multiple. Example. So I have this 2 whole number 1 over 2x plus 5 over 2 is equal to 6. I have to solve this equation for x. First thing is to deal with fractions. I have a mixed fraction here, so I have to change this mixed fraction to an improper fraction. So I change it. I have changed my improper fraction, my mixed fraction to an improper fraction. The next thing is I have to make sure that I give all the fractions a common denominator, which is the LCM. And I multiply through the equation by that LCM. I have to multiply every term in the equation by the LCM. So all the denominators are 2. So we have only one common denominator already. It is 2. So I have to multiply through by 2. We have the LCM 2. I multiply through by 2. I get 2 times 5 over 2x plus 5 over 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 6 multiplied by 2. You have to multiply every term in the equation by that LCM. So you can say that these 2 will cancel these 2. These 2 will cancel these 2. Then I have 5x plus 5 is equal to 12. So there I have my equation simplified. Okay, you can see that there is no more fraction in the equation. So deal with fractions by first changing mixed fractions to improper fractions. Then find the common LCM for all the denominators and multiply each term in the equation on both sides by that LCM. By so doing, changing mixed fractions to improper and then multiplying through by an LCM, which will take every fractional term away, you have your equation simplified. After getting your equation simplified, what do you do? The next thing you do here is group like terms. Like the simplified equation, I got 5x plus 5 equals 12. How do you group like terms? You put all terms that are having the same kind of variable on one side of the equal sign. Okay, so looking at this equation, I have 5x plus 5 equals 12. 5x is having the variable x attached to it, so I can't add 5x to 5. So 5x and 5 are not equal. 12 and 5 are equal because they have no variable attached to them. I can either add them or subtract them. Okay, so I have to send 5 to this side so that it will be left with only 5x on the left side of the equation. But listen to me, when sending or when grouping like terms, by sending terms to other side of the equation, you have to check the sign of the term you are sending or transferring. If the term you are transferring is positive, once you transfer it, it becomes negative. If the term you are transferring is dividing, once you transfer it, it will multiply. If the term you are transferring is multiplying, once you transfer it, it will divide. Okay? So I have 5, it is positive. In algebraic expressions, we learned that the sign in front of a number forms part of the number. So this is plus 5, it is positive. I have to send it to this side so that I can group like terms. By the rule, this positive 5 is going to be changed to negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to get 5x is equal to 12 minus 5. Always, you must make sure that the term you are transferring will follow the term that was already there. 12 was already there, so 5 must follow it. But 5 is going to be negative because here it was adding. So I can then move on to simplify it. I have 5x being equal to 12 minus 5 is 7. We keep on grouping like terms. Okay, we have 5x. 5 and x are not the same. We are looking for x. Okay, so we have to leave x alone by sending 5 to the other side of the equal sign. 5 here is multiplying, and by the rule, if the number is multiplying, it must divide. So since 5 is multiplying here, it is going to divide 7, so that x will stand alone. Therefore, we are going to get x to be equal to 7 over 5. And this is the solution for our equation. Okay, so this is how we solve linear equations. Take your time, follow the right steps. First, deal with fractions. And how do you deal with fractions? You convert mixed fractions to improper fractions, and then you find common denominators for all the fractions in the equation, multiply through by that LCM, and cancel out to get a simplified equation. After getting that, group like terms. And when you are grouping like terms, if a term is adding, it will subtract when it crosses the equal sign. If it is multiplying, it will divide when it crosses the equal sign, and vice versa. So students, these are the steps you have to follow when solving a linear equation. Deal with fractions first. And how do you deal with fractions? Convert mixed fractions to improper fractions. After that, multiply each term in the equation by the LCM of the denominators of the fractions in the equation. The next thing is to group like terms. And when grouping like terms, every positive term changes to negative whenever it crosses the equal sign, and the vice versa. If the term is negative 2, it will change to a positive term when it crosses the equal sign. Also, if a term is multiplying and then crosses the equal sign, it divides. Also, if it is dividing rather, when it crosses the equal sign, it is going to multiply any other term at the other side of the equal sign. So students, thanks for staying with me for this lesson. Find yourself some linear equations from your book and try solving them by following this route. In the next lesson video, we are going to continue with linear equations. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.